भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Just about 2 weeks back, maybe, or maybe 3 weeks back, I got a call from a person, a father, and he was describing the problem of his young son going through some mental trauma and so many other things. And this person is working in the Air Force. So he was saying, life is so much of a hassle, so many difficulties, and especially living with the family is so difficult. It's full of hassles. Then I told him, what is not a hassle? Even if you want to eat a simple food, in India what we call as dal chawal. Dal means lentils, chawal means rice. A simple meal of dal chawal, even though it is very simple, but to get the rice cooked and the dal prepared, it's a hassle. You need a gas stove, you need a cylinder, you need vessels, you need a roof under which to cook, you need water, you need tap. After that you need to clean them up. Assuming getting the grains is not difficult in India. So even a simple meal of rice and dal is a hassle. And if you have to digest the food, do you know what all hassles this body system goes through? Just because we don't know, don't think things are so simple that you swallow and it gets digested. So many juices have to work, so many chemicals have to work, so many signals have to work. So anything and everything is a hassle. What is not a hassle? So this word hassle is a conclusion. Things are what they are. We term it as hassle. He used the word in Hindi, jhanjhat. That was the word. So, life is like that. And today's topic is children, family, and spirituality. I'll go in the reverse order. What I meant by spirituality, let me put it that way. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The four pursuits of life. Artha is, all of them are for removing sorrow, gaining happiness. All the pursuits. Artha is seeking happiness through security. Kama is seeking happiness through sense pleasures and fulfilling one's desires. Dharma is seeking happiness which is more sustainable, which is long term, through right actions. And moksha is seeking happiness which is a lasting happiness. So, all types of pursuits are for seeking happiness. Artha and Kama are seeking happiness through short term means. Watching a movie, eating a good meal, fulfilling some desires, earning money, earning name, fame, etc. They are all for seeking happiness. Dharma is doing good actions, helping others, sharing your things, making others feel good in their difficult times, etc. All of it comes under dharma. Of course, dharma includes a lot many other things. And moksha is knowing one's true nature for seeking happiness. So, in that sense, everything is spiritual. But as a thumb rule, we say seeking happiness which is lasting, that pursuit is spirituality. Short term measures to seek happiness, generally, we don't put under the word spirituality. Generally. And we are not here to debate when not. So, spirituality then family, children. Before I go into, I take a diversion. The other day I had a discussion with somebody, and this discussion will be more, if I share in the Indian context, Indians will understand it in a better way. That person was saying, see, nowadays it is a trend that people are having one child, at most 2 children. That's a general trend. Then what he said was, when you have, say, 2 children, then the children will either not have a mausi or they will not have a mama. Only Indians will understand this. To have both mausi and mama, that probability, you need 4 children. Think about it after the session is over. We are not going to analyze this. Only 2 children means either mausi will be missing or mama will be missing. And to have chances of having both mama and mausi, you need 4. Similarly, chacha, tau and bua, that also if you require, you need 4 children. So children are devoid of these relationships now. Two children policy. And if you have a single child, then I'm talking of their descendants, the child's children, okay? Then they won't have any of those relationships. So, certain concepts, certain relationships are becoming obsolete, or soon they will become obsolete. And they will become stories. They will no more be realities of life. So he was advocating. And then I had discussion with Dr. Bijlani ji also. And I said, either you don't have any children, any child, that's your policy. But if you do want to produce, then produce at least two. Because a single child means there are lot many problems. The child doesn't know how to share things, either will be too much pampered, or so many problems come up. Or something happens to that child, then the parents are devastated, finished. Something happening means death of child is of course the extreme case. Even if the child becomes handicapped or undergoes some painful medical conditions and all, it's so difficult for the parents to handle after that. So you need a second child. The second child is actually to help the first child, and the first child for the second child. And better to have at least 3 children. The third one is for the society. If you are a good caring parent, then produce more children so that you leave behind good people on this earth. Because if you don't produce, somebody else will produce, and you will have a world full of problems. And these are not just my words. I read somewhere, George Bernard Shaw, right? That was his name. He wrote some almost 100, 200 years back, what I am telling you now. That if good, educated people who can take care of children well, if they don't produce enough number of children, then the world will be populated by those children who are not well cared, and that quality of population will get affected. Anyway, even that can be a spiritual goal. Having more children. How? So that I leave this world and try to make it a better place. May not be in my lifetime. In my lifetime, raising one child is a headache. 3, 4, 5 means that many number of times the headache increases. Or if you go by permutation and combinations, then it may be multiple number of times. But again, it is not for me. I can go through all this pain so that I leave behind this place, this earth, and try to make it a better place. So it's a sacrifice. With that sense of sacrifice, when you do it, even having more children can be spiritual. Family. Being in a family, how to be spiritual? Well, it all depends. If the family is totally oriented towards artha and kama, short-term pleasure-seeking, happiness-seeking measures and goals, then it's not spiritual. Definitely not. But if you turn the goals of the family for longer term happiness or for lasting happiness, then even raising the family can be spiritual. So it all depends. Really speaking, a spiritual person can choose any of the type of lifestyle. It will depend on his or her karma, and based on that karma, his or her temperament, as well as the surroundings, the situations. The karma decides the situations as well as the temperament of the person. So, based on that, if the person has to live in the family, has to produce children, even that person can be spiritual. And otherwise, even if a person who is without family, single, moving around, roaming around, and looking for a spiritual solution, need not be spiritual. But person can get lost, can get bored. I can quote here from some passage of Sri Aurobindo. Not everyone who takes up spirituality or religious practices is either cut out for or ready for the life of renunciate. Then abandoning family outwardly while still holding attachment to family does not solve anything. Okay? So ultimately, it is the asangatvam, asanga sastrena dridhena chittva, in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which here Sri Aurobindo uses the word indifference. Without that detachment, without that asangatvam towards what? Towards short-term measures for seeking happiness. Unless one is detached from that and seeks long-term solution, there is no spirituality. And if one chooses to seek long-term solutions, being in the family, two things will happen. Either the family will get dropped out of your life because they will say, we are not interested in your pursuits. Very simple. Then also, you gradually become detached. Or they may join you and support you, then also it helps you. So if I am firm in my goals and what I need to do, then either I get detached from the family or the family supports my pursuits. In both the situations, I can pursue my spiritual goals. So, now, what are the spiritual goals? How to pursue spirituality? This is the question now. Meditation. Is meditation spirituality? Please raise your hand. Is meditation spirituality or not? Part of. Okay, one answer is part of spirituality. Both yes and no. Okay. Maybe, may not be. Same answer. Both yes and no. Because you can be meditating upon stock market, or in India we have another thing, World Cup finals, some cricket game. So it depends what type of meditation. Okay? So then what is spirituality? Meditation may be, may not be. Japa, japa you understand? Chanting of some mantra or some name. That is also maybe, may not be. Because you may do japa to break that fellow's head. This fellow has been creating problems for 20 years in my life. I want to see him dead. And in the process, even if I die, I don't mind. But this fellow must be dead. So maybe, may not be. So if japa and meditation, these are the two so-called, so close to spiritual practices, if they may be and may not be spiritual, then the only thing spirit, the left is, that is the only thing which is 100% spiritual. Nothing you can say what is spiritual and what is not spiritual. What is here makes things spiritual or not spiritual. If any of my practice is helping me towards dharma and moksha, then it becomes spiritual. What is dharma? Dharma is what is right for me. Right, what is right for me sometimes is understood as what is lawful. Something which is lawful need not be in keeping with the dharma. For example, if I smoke cigarette, following all the rules made by the local government, that I should not be smoking in the public and all whatever common sense rules I follow. And I suffer from some chest pain or whatever. I am abiding by the law. I am not doing anything unlawful, but it is against dharma. Why? Because I am harming my body. Dharma doesn't allow you to harm your body. Okay? So being lawful need not be being aligned with dharma. Dharma is possibly one or few steps further than being lawful. Being lawful is definitely minimum condition to be following dharma, but it is more than that. So if I follow dharma, if I follow a lifestyle which is healthy, which is in keeping with the dharma, and then that dharma has so many aspects. It includes Ayurveda, it includes Dharma Shastra, it includes the political science, my duties towards the nation, the community, the people around, the society, everything. Dharma has such a wide meaning. So, first my life has to become aligned with the dharma. That is the first step. Then only spirituality may begin. May not be. But that is the minimum condition. And then if my goal is to get happiness which is lasting, then it is spirituality. So it doesn't matter, really speaking, whether or not and how much not I meditate or I do not meditate, they become secondary. Primary is what is there in my mind, what is my goal, how I want to proceed, which steps, which, what kind of lifestyle, what steps I will choose in my life that has a lasting impact and that gives me lasting happiness. That makes me spiritual. So, first step is following the dharma. Second step becomes finding my true nature. And to find my true nature, there are practices. Then, japa, meditation, etc., they become spiritual. Got my point? Not only these practices, even eating food can be spiritual. And in one of his writings, even coming on time is spiritual. If you have given appointment and you have to be present at some place at a particular time, being present there 2 minutes early is spiritual. So anything and everything becomes spiritual. And when that is the goal and that becomes the orientation of my mind, then family, children, profession, business, I can be a king, I can be a powerful person, I can be a beggar, it just doesn't matter. Any kind of lifestyle becomes spiritual. But if those ingredients are missing, the basic ingredients, first ingredient what? Dharma. One has to understand what is dharma. As I said, it includes the whole set of rules and duties, what I need to do for a proper lifestyle. So, that is the basic ingredient. And the next ingredient is, whatever I am doing, is it helping me to gain that lasting happiness? Is it taking me closer to myself, my true nature? I have to keep asking this. Then every pursuit of my life, anything I do, everything I do, the goal remains that. Other things are just to carry out certain roles which have been assigned to me by the Supreme. I keep doing. The roles keep changing with time. I accept it. And I continue my journey. So, I can go for exclusive spiritual practices depending upon my karma, depending upon my temperament, my situations, life situations. That is the meaning of depending upon my karma. As I told you earlier, my karma decides my temperament as well as the situations around me. So I can follow the spiritual practices exclusively if my karma permits, or I may follow the spiritual practices living with the family, with children, with profession, with everything. Of course, with the basic ingredient of dharma and the spiritual goal. Once those things are clear, then nothing is a hassle. Otherwise, everything is a hassle. And I recall one story, and I have repeated this story a couple of times. So, there was one Buddhist monk sitting in a village. So, one person came from the other village. And he came, and there was a gathering around that monk. So he said, "Oh Master, tell me, how is your village? How are the people in your village? Because I want to shift to your village, near to you. The monk asked, how are the people in the village you are already residing? He said, they are very difficult people. I just hate them. I just want to get rid of them. He said, in this village also, similar people are there. So be where you are. After a few months, another person came. And he asked the same question. How are the people in your village? And the monk again put a counter question. How are the people in the village you are already living? Oh, they are very nice, very good, very helpful and all. He said, even in this village people are like that. Then he said, okay, then I am fine where I am. So then one of the disciples of this monk who had attended both the events, he said, the previous one said that they are, in front of them you said people are not good here. And this time this person came and you said people are good here. So didn't you lie to one of them? He said, no. Why? Because all kinds of people are there in all villages. The person who was fed up in his village will soon get fed up in this village too. The person who was happy in that village will remain happy in this village too. So it depends on that person and not the people. Similarly, if I am fed up with the family and think that coming to ashram will make me hassle-free, no. Wherever there are more than one head, means two heads and more, there will be hassles. Even if their heads are not there, there will be birds. Pigeon dropping will be there. Pigeon dropping, you understand? You bring your car, all washed and all, suddenly when you go back, 3 drops on the windscreen and your mood is off. Now what will you do? Snakes will be there, scorpions will be there, mosquitoes, and especially dengue they call, mosquitoes will be there. Then what will you do? Even if you go to a ashram where there are no people, total natural surrounding, oh my God, let the sun set and you will know the music. Nobody to call in case of emergency. Not happy. And if there is somebody to call for emergency, friction. So, wherever you go, there will be hassles. That is part of life. Nothing you can do. How you tackle it, how you see it, makes that particular situation or group of people that type. So remember that monk. How are the people here? Same as there. The way you look at it, that decides how are the people. How is the situation? How are the surroundings? It's all my vision, how I see it. Not so much on how the others are. There will always be a mixture of things. Okay, then I am happy where I am. Great. You are already spiritual. Today I'll enjoy my World Cup match. Fine. Don't eat too much pakoras. while watching that match. Well, next day again, there will be stomach problem. So this is about spirituality, family, children. I didn't add profession, career, etc. It's life. Anything can be made spiritual, otherwise, nothing is as such is spiritual. It is how I look at things, how I decide about things, and how I respond to situations. So, with this, I stop here. Yes, any questions?
In my opinion, the right word for dharma is righteousness and not religion.
No, it's never not religion at all, definitely. But even righteousness is a limited meaning of word dharma. Because there are few things which are neither righteous nor unrighteous, but they are part of dharma. I'll tell you, for example. No, I'll give you example. Pitru Tarpan, offering oblations to the ancestors. It's neither right nor wrong, but it is part of dharma. Because you get connected. You see yourself connected to more than what you already see the life around. So, righteousness is definitely part of dharma, but it's a subset. Dharma is a superset, it includes many more things. And as I told you, smoking, is it righteous or not? It is righteous. It's my private life. I decide whether I smoke or I don't smoke. I'm not harming anybody. But then again, it doesn't fall under dharma.
I have a small question here.
Yeah.
Tarpan is part of Pitririn?
Yeah.
Pitririn incorporates
Begetting children.
yes, to
Yeah.
carry on the family lineage,
Correct.
taking care of father in the old age and Tarpan.
Right. That's right. Any other question?
You gave an example of something being lawful but not dharma. Can it also be that something may be dharma but not lawful?
Oh my God, you have touched. Yes, there can be something which can be dharma but not lawful. There is a word in Dharma Shastra called atatai. Some 8 kinds of crimes are there. I may not be able to recall all of them. But anyone who commits any one of those crimes is called an atatai. That includes murder, then outraging the modesty of a woman, then taking away the property of somebody and displacing the person from the property, and few other things are there. Poisoning somebody. So why I recall them, because these Kauravas were supposed to have carried all the 8 crimes, carried out all the 8 crimes, and they deserved capital punishment as per dharma. But suppose if you are in a country where capital punishment is banned, then they are in conflict. Dharma says capital punishment, whereas the law says simple jail or something, whatever. So that could be one situation where local laws could be in conflict with dharma. See, this question, I tell you, it's a tricky question. Why it becomes tricky? As far as the Indian constitution goes, the laws have been framed more or less, almost I will say 99 or 99.99% in keeping with dharma. So this question will not become so stark in the Indian context. But there may be places or countries whose constitution were not made in keeping with the concept of dharma in India. There it can come in conflict. Yeah.
Some advocates, they recommend something which is illegal,
Right.
but that is keeping in tune with dharma. I know a case where a 90-year-old lady, whose sons live abroad, she was harassed by the laborers.
Right.
The advocate counseled that आप उनको छोटा-मोटा फर्जी केस में फंसा दो, so that आपको इस एज में वो परेशान नहीं करे.
Right.
I think that is one example of Dr. Bijlani's.
That is okay. That also is it can be an example. The local, it is in keeping with the local law, but not in keeping with dharma. The Evidence Act and all the practices the advocates do, they try to find loopholes within the law. Trying to find loopholes within the law permits, but dharma doesn't permit. Yeah, that could be a good example. Yes. That which takes me closer to know my true nature. It could be a small step, it could be a big step, it doesn't matter. Even japa I do, what? So that I get the right guidance at the right time, what I should be doing next, what kind of meditation I should be doing. Otherwise I may be groping in dark, closing my eyes, and then before it was light, now it becomes dark. And meditating on what? Somebody will say you meditated on blue light, somebody will say green light, somebody say traffic lights. I get confused. Not that any of the advice themselves are wrong. People who have given the advice, they have given earnestly, but may not be useful for you at this moment of time. Do you understand? So it is like free prescription on internet. May not be useful for you. You have to consult a doctor at a particular time, particular dosage of a particular medicine is good for me. So how do I get it? I need to pray. So even that small prayer, that I get the right guidance, can be spiritual. And the biggest one is, I come to know my true nature. That is also definitely is spirituality. So coming to know my true nature and the journey towards that is all spirituality. This is how I define spirituality. Okay, we stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.